Hello, what's up ladies and gentlemen, it is I am the one and only Sonic the Hedgehog here, and I am of course back for some more yet again for the likes of the Maxi Toys videos. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for some more of Let's Play of Sonic Colors Ultimate for the PlayStation 4, Xbox One / Xbox Series X and Series S, PC, and Nintendo Switch. So, last time we have managed to able to, well, almost done everything in terms of Planet Wisp, and overall, we did actually have a really good run on it so far. And today, for this episode in particular, and that is the fact that we're going to be heading on to the forms of the next planet, which appears to be Aquarium Park. So after all, we actually only got 2 generators left, until we basically pretty much leads us to the final level in the game, which, much like the original game, it's basically terminal velocity. So, spoiler alert for those of you who have not played the game before. So, yeah, let's get started with Aquarium Park Act 1. So, yeah, this should be fun and interesting. Okay, sorry for this jump cut right there. It's mainly because, for some reason, my capture card just stopped working for some reason. Although, thankfully, I did manage to fix this, so at least thankfully we did manage to get the first part of the footage up, so, but except for the forms have been the majority of the rest of the footage, so, but thankfully we actually did manage to fix it, as I said. So anyways, here we go with Aquarium Park, and obviously that, oh man, the visual still looks really dang good. Even especially noticeable that I really obviously still enjoy a lot of levels in Sonic Colors, basically, because it's all vibrant and also it's very nice and sight to see. So anyway, a few things I want to explain for this point is that today's day is of course the 18th of January today, in this case in 2022, and to be more specifically in the UK version of specifically Mario Party Island Tour from the likes of yesterday. I suppose that Maxi has already mentioned about this ever since in Super Mario 3D All-Stars playthrough from the likes of Super Mario 64 and stuff like that. That's basically Mario Party Island Tour in the UK is now been out for about 8 years now. So because of that though, yeah, I can't even believe time itself is still flying about, and yeah, you probably get the idea about that. Oh yeah, something worth talking about, especially noticeable if you realize about the fact that if you transform into new forms of the Drill Wisp, that's basically, that's one thing I want to classify for something, is that unlike the original version of the Drill Wisp theme, when it goes to underwater and stuff like that, basically unlike the original, it goes like a but then basically in the remastered version, it basically heavily borrows the exact same theme. If you guys remember from the likes of Sonic Lost World on the Wii U and 3DS, that basically if you manage to able to use the Drill Wisp on specifically in Tropical Coast Act 1 for instance, on the likes of both versions of the game if I recall, basically we got ourselves a nice little relaxing particular tune theme for the sake of likely using the actual Drill Wisp. So that's something worth classifying for noticing this to mention. So, and of course that I seemed able to missing another one of those red star rings, but that's okay, because I'm pretty sure it actually requires us to able to get ourselves, I would say, the final wisp in the game. So, and yeah, unfortunately though, unlike the DS version of Sonic Colors, that you don't able to actually access to 2 other wisps, which are obviously the Red Burst, along with the forms of the Violet Void. So, because those 2 wisps are only exclusive to the DS counterparts. So, and I was literally so close to getting S rank from, if only if I could have, you know, spent some time to able to, you know, drill around underwater and stuff like that, but whatever. And of course the music stops again, so yeah, prepared to able to hearing that no music on the actual result screen a lot throughout the majority of at the end of this playthrough, believe me. Especially noticeable whenever we get into the forms of well, all the red star rings collectathon and also doing all the rival races basically, so yeah, get used to that. Although it might actually be kind of awkward though, for the sake of likely not having any music for that particular result screen, so but I digress. So we go on to Act 2, where basically the entire place is entirely in 2D and everything, and the main usage of this level is of course activating those particular blue switches, which allows you to able to move these platforms, so, or essentially just rotate them. So that's basically how you can get the gist of it for this level. So And also, out of all the actual zones in the game, oh god, that was actually really dang close. Especially noticeable, I've almost gonna fall off and die. But thankfully though, if you somehow, again, fall off to the pit, basically Tailsave will automatically do it for you. And then, unlike the original game, you have to start all over the level again. And of course, like the original game, is the fact that if you don't activate the checkpoint at all, basically though, is the fact that the time will carry over for the sake of the forms of how you died and stuff like that. Which is a bit of annoying, just like the forms of how it does it on Sonic, well, as I say, Sonic Unleashed, for instance, on the HD version of the game, on the PS3 and Xbox 360 versions, but that's as far as we might as well able to expect every now and then, so... Oh, okay, so before we end off the level here, I need to grab another red star ring over there, and there's another one just over here, so I can able to actually just not to fall off and try to use the insane amount of homing attacks against with these egg pawn robots. And basically that's how we finish the level from there, so... Oh, nicely done! We got ourselves the glorious S rank, so top-notch tool that will be. And of course, like the original version of the game, basically that if you get to the results screen on the likes of Aquarium Park, you're pretty much gonna have to get used to with the actual water physics, like you're able to be got a little bit floaty here and there, especially noticeable you underwater for the whole time. So, yeah, that might be something worth mentioning. So, now of course we actually unlock something from the likes of the Game Land, so... But again, we'll save that up until whenever we collected all of the red star rings throughout the whole entire playthrough. So, yeah, that might be something worth noting for. So, anyways, let's move on to Act 3. That's, well... Suffice to say, I think we are basically almost at the halfway point in terms of, wow, Aquarium Park already, which I was quite surprised about. And also, much like before, I did manage to once again change the different color between the forms of the gloves and shoes, making them as the new forms of, I would say, Cyclone color. Even though I haven't paid attention to the actual stuff whatsoever, though, I must be honest, because again, it has been about 5 days ago since we actually last touched this game, because after all that, Maxi is still working on Super Mario 3D All-Stars, and also Ray the Flying Squirrel, he's also working on Mario Party 7, so... Because it feels like for this month, it's going to be a Mario and Sonic Let's Plays all over again, which I actually do like, especially noticeable that compared to 2020, aka the worst year ever made, that basically that we actually stumbled across Mario and Sonic Olympic Games Let's Play to redo on, and also a Kirby Let's Play. In fact, we're able to actually do a next Kirby Let's Play at some point this year, especially noticeable that, of course, the new 3D Kirby game is on its way for the Nintendo Switch. So, naturally speaking, we are definitely having a... Well, we've already got the 2D Kirby game, which is, of course, Star Allies since in 2018, but now in this year in 2022, we're now finally getting the 3D Kirby game. So, in fact, let me know in the comments below for the question of the day. Are you guys looking forward to able to trying out Kirby and the Forgotten Land for the Nintendo Switch? Because I am, because obviously I'm now a hardcore Kirby fan now, especially noticeable after owning quite a few spin-offs here and there for the sake of the DS titles and stuff like that, in addition to this obscure Wii U title, which is of course the Rainbow Paintbrush, aka the Rainbow Curse. Well, for those of you who lived in North America, and that way I can able to actually decide to do, well, we might consider trying to do Star Allies for the Switch, and then once we're done with that, we can definitely get into the forms of the 3D Kirby game at long last. Well, it wasn't until, let's just say until, God knows, next year, or this year to be more specific. In fact, let me know in the comments below if you decide able to actually let me decide to do that particular game for either this year or next year to be more specific. So, because I'd like to hear your thoughts down below. So, anyway, so there's another emphasis about the fact that to get the next red star ring, as you saw, we had to use the Jade Ghost Wisp in order able to get up there. So, well, not so much in this red star ring here, because you have to simply use the Rocket Wisp in order able to actually just blast off into the skies above. So, now of course I don't think we can able to get the last red star ring on this particular act, just because it's been locked behind those breakable blocks, and to do that we need able to get the Frenzy or the Purple Frenzy Wisp. So, which is of course the final wisp in the game, just like in the forms of the original Wii version of the game. Because a lot of people back in the day, that they keep on asking about the fact that did they manage to add in some DS content here and there. But unfortunately though, it doesn't happen. So due to the fact that in the DS version heavily utilizes the touchscreen and stuff like that for multiple occasions whenever you're trying to able to meet up with new wisps, as well as the special stages here and there. Speaking of the special stages though, is the fact that, wow, we haven't got a new proper special stage in a Sonic game ever since in Sonic Mania. So as a result though, no special stages anywhere in Sonic Forces, or this from the likes of Sonic Colors Ultimate. I'm not exactly sure if they bring back the special stages again for the likes of, well, the next major Sonic game for release for the to be expecting to be releasing this year. But then again, we'll find out during at some point later down the road. Possibly until, God knows, until E3 2022 will happen. So, but anyways, we'll find out at some point. So, seriously, I really love the actual Sonic movie effects on me, especially noticeable. It looks kind of cool in a video game like this, especially that obviously is based off from the Sonic movie in 2020, as you probably already know. And eventually, that at some point this year, we're able to expect to see the sequel to the Sonic movie as well, during the course of this year as well. Along with, of course, the Sonic Prime Netflix series, which I'm really excited about, after the events of some rumors out there, and especially noticeable after watching the Sonic Central Direct ever since about, I can't even believe it's been about, let's say 8 months ago or something like that, since the Sonic Central Direct. That usually happens during the forms of May 2021, just because of the 30th anniversary of my video game series. Well, at least that's pretty cool and everything, so... Oh god, here's the most painful red star ring to get, and that is just something to do with the forms of the correct angles you have to put up with for the likes of trying to use the laser wisp most of your time. And yeah, unfortunately I got screwed up right there. But that's okay though, I will be back for it at some point once we're able to try to deal with the forms of grabbing every single red star rings as much as possible. So, and of course like the forms of how it does it on the, well, I don't know what I usually call it for the sake of time right here, because I know it has been, you know, 5 days since I actually last played this. So, because, you know, other two Let's Players out there... Oh, what the heck? I have no idea what's going on there. Okay, whatever. At least we were able to continue our progressioning there for the next red star ring that is usually down over there. And of course the last one is pretty obvious. We need to use the green laser wisp and stuff like that, or to be more specifically, the cyclone wisp, or the cyclone laser wisp. So that might be something worth to behold, and all that stuff. So seriously, I still really love the music of Aquarium Park, although I definitely heard about the forms of the remakes music for the likes of Aquarium Park, and they're not too bad actually. Even though that I kind of still prefer the original themes a bit more, just because of my nostalgia reasons, and that could be also applied to the forms of some nostalgia music they put in for the likes of Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania for multiple platforms and all that stuff. So, but that's just me anyway, especially noticeable because I might be biased when it comes to likely nostalgic memories for, you know, certain tracks and what have you, and all that stuff. So, oh god, here it is again. Especially every now and then that we now need to deal with him. Well, we still need to deal with him twice, by the way, for the sake of the majority of the game. Likely one in here in Aquarium Park, and another one from the likes of towards at the very end of the game. Which, I think that's a perfect example about the fact that we'll try to save the final zone for last until we take care of the forms of the extra stuff for a pretty different reasons. Because obviously, unlike the back in the day in 2017, that we somehow managed to win through the majority of the main playthrough, alongside with the forms that try to show off Super Sonic at the end. But it turns out I'm actually going to do something completely different for a change. Especially that, just have some different variety for certain parts itself. So, and look at that, I got myself a gorgeous S rank. So, top notch for my quick steps and what have you. And also just keep our rings alive. And do I even get, oh, just a little bit closer, just trying to able to obtain the tail save icon. But, whatever, at least we got quite a lot of them actually, especially that obviously unlike the Wii version of the game, the original version I should say, there's no way you can get a game over in this version this time around because obviously with, well, kind of similar way for the likes of Super Mario Odyssey, along with the forms of Sonic Forces, along with Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. Well, to be more specifically, Bowser's Fury game tech demo for a next 3D Mario game in the future. But basically though, there is rarely any ever moments whenever you're able to get a game over from this time around, so... Because obviously, it might actually ruin the challenge for a bit, like I said earlier. So, because of that though, unfortunately there's no way you can able to toggle those off. So, because you have to be forced to able to go into Tails save feature, so... Because a lot of people keep on speculating back in the day, from the likes of last year, they keep on saying about the fact that they'll bring in another playable character, which is of course Tails, but unfortunately though, Tails is nowhere to be a playable character due to the forms of, well, I don't know what I say personally, because I know that's, well, it's kind of to say really, so here we go folks, on to Act 5, that basically, much like the forms of Starlight Carnival, we are once again going back onto the forms of the yellow triple spring mechanic, where basically that the actual thing automatically moves if you manage to continuously go to the left and all that stuff. So yeah, that might be something it's kind of familiar for those who ever played the Starlight Carnival before, so... But except this time around though in a different environment as you can tell. So anyway, so let's go ahead and you know, trying to designate all these bomb blocks. Yeah, it's kind of weird that every time whenever you're trying to activate the designate bomb blocks, that basically goes like just like the exact same sound effects whenever you try to deal with a forms of a jump trick bonus, if you're trying to come across into those yellow trick ramps and stuff like that. Also, I just realized is the fact that those projectiles are actually kind of in an odd angle, which is kind of odd, because I remember back on the Wii version of the game, that basically it just goes slightly all straight and all that stuff, but in the remastered version, they just somehow gone into a weird angle sometimes for several projectiles, so... But at the very least, we got ourselves an S rank though at the very least, so top notch for my awesome skills there, especially noticeable that we able to got, you know, every single red star rings from there. And speaking of such, there's another unlockable thing on Game Land, which sure enough that'll lead us to another act from the likes of the Game Land, which again we'll show that off once we collected every single red star rings basically. So alright, so let's move on to Act 6. So let's see how this goes, hey? Especially noticeable that I can't believe we've almost done with this particular playthrough so far. Although, mind you, I will be able to try to go for all these S ranks on off-screen, so I can able to show you guys the, well, specific occasions or something like that. Well, at least what I've sort of been mentioning about that, so anyways, in Act 6, as you can see, that we have to go into the underwater for the majority of the time, and of course, that if you stumble across these swarms of fishies right there, as you notice, that it actually protects you from drowning, perhaps? Although, again, it has been such a long while since I actually played Sonic Colors Ultimate, because the last time I played this game was actually like 100% for everything, for the sake of the Xbox One version back in, well, almost in day one, and the Switch version just for the sake of the actual, like, well, convenience of how that version plays out to be, although, then again, it has been a while since I actually mentioned about something like this, so... Alright, so let's go ahead and just try to bypass those little, mechanical fish bandits, and grab a white wisp, just in case, and somehow my collision detection right here just somehow not work right there for some reason. But at the very least we can able to actually just continue our progression there. And trying to deal with all these crab meats and also egg pawns. And also I still love the fact that these egg pawns are actually wearing some different outfits or different costumes based off from what zones you go into. You know, just like New Forms of how it does it on Mario Party 2 perhaps. So yeah, that's something's worth noting for the sake of time. Alright, so we'll destroy these here. And I get the strong sense of feeling the next red star wing, or the red star ring, I should say. What did I say wing for some reason? that basically we need to go ahead and try to avoid all kinds of Eggman's robots here, and then just try to avoid as much as chaotic moments here and there, so I could able to... I lost my rings! I was really hoping I can able to actually be safe or not, but at the very least we got the red star ring, I guess, but... In fact, there was actually a trick to this though. If you decide able to do this within one run, then basically if you hit onto here, you grab the next red star ring there. But now we need to hit back, and... Oh, dang it, I boost too much. But thankfully the Tails save feature was actually a thing, so thanks Tails. So basically, you were able to get into the trick ramp, and boom, there you go. That's how you get the next red star ring, easily. So, rather than needing to able to actually do this within a second playthrough or something. So, seriously, stuff like that I always enjoy. Especially noticeable because obviously that if you really want to go ahead and, well, it doesn't matter what versions you play on, either on the Xbox One, or the PS4 version, or the Switch version, or heck, even with the forms of the original Wii game, as a matter of fact, despite the fact that every time you fall off, you have to start all over from the beginning of the level, or if you activate the checkpoint, you have to respawn right back into where the checkpoint is. So, but either way though, that might be something worth classifying for noticing this, so... Alright, so let's just go ahead and, you know, once again going through underwater, and oh, we got ourselves the drill wisp. I need that so badly, because if I somehow don't make it there in time while in the drill wisp, basically I will simply drown for no good reason. Because yeah, here's the thing, unlike the forms of Sonic Generations or Sonic Unleashed, within Sonic Lost World, well, at least specifically the Wii U version, along with the PC version as well, if you want to count that, and also Sonic Forces as well, that I don't... Oh wait, you do able to explore the underwater segments in Sonic Forces, so my bad. So yeah, because basically unlike those games, that except Sonic Forces, that you will die instantly if you're not able to dive underwater. Whilst in here though, you'll be perfectly safe, as long as you still need to go after those air bubbles in order to survive. So, yeah, that pretty much summed up just for that such. Unfortunately, I didn't get the S rank though, mainly because I lost a whole bunch of rings. But that's okay, I'll do those on my own time. And let's hit on to the next boss fight, which is my least favorite boss fight still.
Man, running past all those fish put me in the mood for sushi. I doubt Eggman had the decency to put a good sushi joint in this park.
Remember, ladies and gentlemen, try the newest dining experience here at Eggman's incredible interstellar amusement park, the bucket of sushi. Now with fish.
Ugh, like I was saying. Hey, did somebody here order a clobbering? Are you sure? It says somebody ordered an extra large clobbering topped with everything. Okay. Tell you what, I can't take this thing back, so I'll give you an extra large clobbering for nothing. Hope you're hungry.
So yeah, you probably get the idea about the fact that why this boss fight is my least favorite boss in the game. Not because it's hard or anything, but rather just because about the fact that, well, it does manage to take place in underwater throughout the whole time. And basically, in order able to actually just to deal with the actual boss fight alone, basically we need able to actually, well, first of all, we still need able to actually guide those particular Eggman missile until you're able to actually, oh, what the heck? So yeah, basically, it's the fact that you have to able to guide those rockets in order to able to actually deal well with the forms of not only for those little ball-like glass, but also we need to take down this particular glass to able to actually just to activate the stomp ability to activate the switch, which unlike the forms of Sweet Mountain is pretty self-explanatory to able to actually homing attack onto those cannonballs, and then basically you will make it to the very end of the right, or make it all the way to the right, and then basically you would activate the switch and try to deal with the actual captain robot in order able to deal the damage. Well, in here though, we need to keep on using those particular rockets in order able to actually deal with the glass, and then basically you have to traverse through that while in underwater. So, and keep that in mind, if you almost run out of air, you have to continuously try to grab those air bubbles as much as you're trying to survive throughout the majority of the fight. So, yeah, that can be even amusing sometimes, but luckily though, much like the forms of how it does it on, well, to be more specifically in the boss fight in Sweet Mountain, basically you're once again able to actually access to the Drill Wisp, and by all means by that way you can able to do twice the amount of damage from that particular Captain boss fight, so, or the Captain Pirate, robot kind of boss fight. I don't know exactly what his name is though, because it has been, you know, quite a few days since I actually gone back to this though still. But anyways, oh my god, hopefully I can make it! Okay, there we go. Thankfully, if you try to use the stomp right there, if you try to activate the actual liver switch, basically you can able to still get the air bubble for reals. So, and this is going to be another one of those trophies slash achievements. Oh, nice! And basically, as you can see, that much like the forms of the Sweet Mountain boss fight, along with the forms of the Tropical Resort boss fight, along with Planet Wisp boss fight, we still need able to actually hit the boss fight for about less than 3 hits. And if you've done that, like I just did right there, then you immediately manage to get yourselves the achievement or the trophy, depending on what version you're playing. And I was literally so close to get the S rank, and it's actually quite tricky to get an S rank from, because you have to, like, be perfect at it though. Especially noticeable, you can't afford to able to get hit loads of times, especially in the beginning.
Great job, Sonic.
You know me. I aim to please.
Well, I'm totally pleased, and a little nauseous. I grabbed a bite at the bucket of sushi.
What's the verdict?
His cruelty knows no bounds.
So yes, I think suffice to say for this point, and especially noticeable that we've now only got 1 generator left to take down. So yeah, suffice to say, join me next time for more of Let's Play of Sonic Colors Ultimate, and that is the fact that we're going to be hit on to the next planet, which appears to be by the forms of Asteroid Coaster. So, yeah, it should be fun and all that stuff though, so but stay tuned for that. So yeah, I'll see you guys until on, well, the next day. Later, fellas.